The Aussie F1 driver is set to take a major step in his career. The fan favorite, Daniel Ricciardo, has revealed what he'd be doing next, and surprisingly, it's actually not entirely F1 related. Famous for his huge smile and likable personality, Ricciardo has stolen the hearts of many fans. In today's video, we'll be talking about what his next career move is all about. Stay tuned to find out more. The McLaren driver has shown his worth on the tracks. The Italian-Australian F1 driver made his debut in 2011 at the British Grand Prix, and since then, he has proven to everyone that he's in a league of his own. He raced with the HRT Formula team in the beginning of his career, but in 2014, the young racer was sent to Red Bull Racing to compete alongside Sebastian Vettel as a replacement for Mark Webber. His move to Red Bull helped him score third place in the championship, but it was actually his quick wit and happy personality that made everyone love him so much. One thing the racer is particularly famous for is the shoey. Now, what on earth is a shoey? If you're a fan, you already know all about it, but if you aren't, yes, it does involve an actual shoe. Whenever Ricciardo manages to grab a win, he gets on the podium, takes off his shoe, fills it with champagne, and chugs it down. But he doesn't stop there. Oh no, he often gets the other podium holders to drink it too. How thoughtful. The little tradition is actually pretty wholesome, and something everyone majorly looks forward to. It should be a surprise to no one when we tell you that Ricciardo has won many awards for his performances. Most recently, he was appointed a member of the Order of Australia on Australia Day honors in 2022. Previously, he was also the Confarginato Motori Driver of the Year in 2018. The 32-year-old racer is currently driving for McLaren alongside the young British racer Lando Norris. In his career, Ricciardo has managed to put 32 podiums under his belt and 8 wins. But after a pretty successful career, we're afraid that the racing star might be leaning towards a career change. What's next for the McLaren driver? Ricciardo is currently 13th in the 2022 Drivers' Championship, but as it turns out, he doesn't really see himself continuing with F1. This shocking news comes after a recent interview where he said that he doesn't like his performance on the tracks to dictate the way he feels. We bet you're all curious to know what his next move will be, and we're equally excited to tell you. The Australian F1 driver has been asked a couple of times what he would choose as an alternate career path, and to our surprise, he said he'd like to be a male stripper. Well, we can safely assume that he was only joking and that we won't be seeing him strutting away in any Melbourne bar soon. So what's actually his next move? The racer took to Instagram recently and announced that he is set to try his luck in the world of television. It was recently announced that the giant streaming platform Hulu will be producing a TV series based on Formula One. So after this news, Ricciardo announced through an Instagram post that he will be acting as an executive producer for this series. So we probably won't be seeing him starring in a steamy rom-com anytime soon, but let's not lose hope. The F1 series is yet to be named, and no news about its content has been released so far, but we're pretty excited to see how Ricciardo's new venture will turn out. Sources state that they're currently looking for writers, so if you're any good with a pen, now's your time to shine. Of course, who wouldn't jump at the chance of working with Ricciardo? Next up, let's talk about Ricciardo's other ventures away from F1. As it turns out, Ricciardo's not putting all his eggs in one basket. He's also a brand ambassador for Optus and has recently joined forces with St. Hugo, a South Australian vineyard to produce a variety of wines. And here's the real kicker. Earlier this year, they released a limited edition decanter made in the shape of his racing boot. And yup, it's perfect for shoes. We're all pretty excited to see how his move to an executive producer with Hulu pans out. The announcement of the show came with some other racing-related TV projects. Apple TV recently announced that it would be making an F1-themed feature film starring our all-time favorite, Brad Pitt, with the F1 star Lewis Hamilton producing it. Netflix also recently came out with a show called The Crew, which was basically a comedy revolving around a NASCAR team, but this was canceled after only one season. So let's wait and see what other ventures Ricciardo takes up away from the tracks. And now, for other F1-related news. FIA prepares to control the bouncing on F1 tracks. Nope, there aren't any rogue drivers going around and jumping on the tracks. It's just one of those F1 terms. FIA recently announced that from the French Grand Prix, it would be enforcing rules regarding how much an F1 F1 car can bounce on the tracks. This problem is fairly recent, as it has only occurred in the most recent generation of F1 cars. It's basically a motion that is caused by the aerodynamic pressure on the car when the floor of the car hits the track in something called the porpoising. This announcement comes after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, where a lot of drivers actually complained about the issue after the race. FIA has shown concern that such a motion of cars might actually end up having a negative impact on the health of F1 drivers. Teams have been briefed and are now analyzing their cars to check if any changes are required to curb this problem. So we can for sure expect limited bouncing from French Grand Prix onwards. Next up, Ricciardo's prank on teammate Norris has Hamilton worried. The joker amongst F1 drivers is hands down Daniel Ricciardo. He's well known for his pranks, witty answers, and his general good vibes. But recently, the Aussie tried to pull a prank on his British McLaren teammate Lando Norris, and let's just say that things didn't go exactly as planned. On the Thursday before the British Grand Prix, before Friday's practice, the teammates raced each other in Northamptonshire. After this friendly match, Ricciardo smashed Norris's face with a space hopper. The spectators found the prank hilarious, but some concerns were raised regarding the young star's well-being. In response, Ricciardo took to Twitter and assured everyone that Norris was doing okay. Turns out, Hamilton didn't exactly like everyone laughing at the young Brit's expense, as he took to Twitter and gave a rather cautious reply. Hamilton's reply of, "Is he actually?" has sparked some concern amongst the fans who are now hoping that the space hopper smack wasn't actually too hard. The video has been making rounds on the internet and is still gaining many laughs. Apart from this, there are some new updates in the Hamilton vs. Piquet feud. Several derogatory remarks against Lewis Hamilton made by the three-time F1 champ came to light last year. This actually resulted in him being banned from the paddock, but the story doesn't end there. Although, after these remarks came to light, Nelson Piquet apologized and stated that he would never be prejudiced against a driver based on his skin color. But as it turns out, some more footage has surfaced where the 69-year-old uses similar slurs. These racist remarks have shocked everyone to the core. It's sad to say that the seven-time world champ Lewis Hamilton has faced such discrimination at several points in his racing career. He is currently the most celebrated F1 driver and is tied with the all-time legend Michael Schumacher for the most world championships won. F1 chiefs stated that such behavior and language has no part in society, and many celebrities have come forward to condemn Nelson Piquet. Lastly, let's talk about all the F1 film and TV projects and what we can expect soon. The audience for F1 has seen a drastic increase, especially last year. Many streaming platforms are now looking to cash in on this opportunity. Business for F1 seems to be booming, and many film and TV projects are set to be released pretty soon. The series, Drive to Survive, was released by Netflix and was one of the first major TV projects for F1. The hit series will be releasing its 5th season in early 2023, and we can't wait for the sneak peeks it offers into the beyond the tracks life of the F1 drivers. More of the F1 TV and film projects in the pipeline. Apple TV has recently won the rights for an F1-based film starring Brad Pitt. Even though a title has yet to be released, we know a little bit about the main plot. The story revolves around a retired F1 driver who decided to mentor a young racer and proceeds to take a last ride on the track as the young racer's teammate. But this is not all from Apple TV. The streaming giant is also set to produce a documentary based on Lewis Hamilton. This documentary will be covering his early life and career. We're excited to have full access to what goes on in his life and on the tracks. What do you think about Ricciardo's next career move? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for similar content. See you in the next video.